This is Berlin.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. You tried.
And then look at her. If you look at this cathedral,
Berlin
what do you
Cathedral.
think how old it is?
यो चाहिँ बर्लिन क्याथेड्रल रहेछ हैन
Maybe 150 years old? Yeah. And that's the guess of most people. But actually, I'm like, what shape do we have right now? Yeah, actually, you are really close. Like, a lot of people think it's quite older. They think it's like, 19th century or something, 18th century, but you're very close. And this cathedral was built in 1905.
This
So,
was built in
I
1905.
actually think it looks much older.
यो चाहिँ प्रसियन सेन्टर अफ पोलिटिकल पावर है पहिलाको जमानाको
But it is actually a Protestant church. And it is the biggest Protestant church in Berlin. And it's one of the most important dynastic tombs in all of Europe because actually the royal family of the Hohenzollern museums in a city that
प्रसियन
already has-
सेन्टर अफ पोलिटिकल पावर
But why is it there? And this used to be the arsenal. This used to be the palace for the weapons. And
Palace for the
actually,
weapons.
like the first stone was like laid around 1695, and this building was finished in the 18th century. And the guy that was responsible for having this palace built was a guy known as the Soldier King, Prussian king. And the Soldier King, he was very interested in war. I mean, Prussia was also a very militaristic state, and there wasn't a time when 4/5 of the annual income would be put into the military, for example, to build a palace just to house the weapons, because it's very necessary, right? But this building also has a lot of modern history, because actually this is a building in which one of the closest assassination attempts against Adolf Hitler took place. So actually in spring 1943, when the war started to get worse for the Nazis, a lot of generals started to plot against the Nazis. And there was one guy, his name was Rudolf Christoph von Gersdorf. His plan was to give Hitler a little guided tour in this building, and he wanted to arm like 2 10-minute time bombs inside of his jacket. So what happened? Hitler arrives, he starts to give the tour. After 7 minutes, Hitler is like, I'm bored, and he just leaves. So somehow this guy managed to save himself. He disarmed the bombs, and no one knew about this incident actually until 1944. After the Stauffenberg attentat, that's probably most of you know, when plotters actually succeeded to put a bomb inside a room together with Adolf Hitler, but he was actually saved by a very heavy oak table. And after that, the plotters, they actually started, not the Gestapo, the secret police, they tortured all of the plotters, and this is how they also found out about this incident. But this is a very good example that shows how difficult it was to kill Hitler, because Hitler, he did this stuff on purpose, like he left early, he arrived late, and it was very hard to pin down when and where he was exactly. And on top of that, Hitler was also very paranoid, so he had his own food testers, he grew his own vegetables, stuff like that, so it was not easy to kill him. Today, this is the German History Museum. It has a very big permanent exhibition, and it's really worth it to take a look at it. And behind the building, you can find this. This is like a new addition to the German History Museum. It was built by the same architect that built the Louvre Pyramid, and this is the place where you can find the temporary exhibitions of the German History Museum. Voila. All right, this part of Berlin was heavily destroyed during the Second World War. Exactly. They were not here, and this is actually what happened with a lot of art during the Second World War, it was removed. And statues were, for example, just put like inside of rivers, or they were shipped like to, another part of the country where the war was not that bad. This is actually what happened with these statues. They landed in former West Germany. House for the Royal Guard, and also a memorial for those who died during the Napoleonic Wars. After the First World War, it was renamed and it became the memorial for those who died during the First World War. And back then it used to look like any other war memorial. It had the eternal flame inside, and it also had the grave of an unknown soldier inside. I cannot see like this. I think I need an umbrella. I made it not too tight. Anyways, and it used to look like any other war memorial. Then in the growing up in a conservative Prussian household, being gay. So actually when he was 18, he decided to run away with his lover, and they ran away to England. Unfortunately, they were betrayed and they were brought back here to Germany in the 1920s, before he fled to America, before the Nazis came to power. And the last building he finished was the one behind me.
This was the university, German's first university, and the university when Albert Einstein used to be a teacher.
This is a tolerant square built by a tolerant ruler. That's why it's quite ironic that it's known for something very different today. Do you have any idea what happened on the square, what it is known for today? Did you hear of the Nazi book burnings before? Yeah. They took place on the square actually on the 10th of May 1933, because when Hitler came to power, he assumed complete control quite quickly. He did it very smartly actually, and it was Dr. Joseph Goebbels' job. It was the Nazi propaganda minister.
यो चाहिँ बर्लिनको फर्स्ट युनिभर्सिटी हो हैन, यो चाहिँ त्यो युनिभर्सिटी हो जुनमा अल्बर्ट आइन्स्टाइनले पढाएको थिए before he fled to America.
This was a prelude. Only where one starts burning books, one ends up by burning people. And he should be right with that, because the Nazis, they would not stop by burning books. They would open concentration camps, and the victims of the concentration camps would be killed and in the end also cremated, right? And this is actually a quote of 1820, so it preceded what the Nazis did. And Heinrich Heine here, he was commenting on the Spanish Inquisition because he saw how they burned the Quran. So as you can see, history seems to repeat borders, and then we go to the side and we talk about it when you saw it.
Du ser det här, skrotten.
But yeah, the Ampelmann, He's actually an East German invention. So he was invented in East Germany, and the purpose for inventing the Ampelmann, which actually means traffic light man, was to make it a bit more appealing for street rules, but also to make it more appealing for the grown-ups, because they were not, adhering to the street rules at all. And actually, after reunification of Germany, there was the move to change all of the traffic lights to the, let's say, boring standard in the West. We reached the square, in which you can find probably the most famous monument of Berlin, the most famous building. Of course, talking about the Adlon Hotel, what else, right? But actually, the Adlon Hotel is the most famous hotel in Berlin. It was actually finished in 1907, and it already had royal guests back then, because William II, he insisted on being the first guest in this hotel. No, right? And that has a lot to do with the rules of the square, because it is only allowed to use natural materials on the facade, so the attention doesn't get drawn away from the Brandenburger Gate. But if you would walk inside of this building, it looks a little bit different. And this is where you really see the Frank Gehry. It really looks like you walk the architect.
Academy of Art.
He won, so he just did the building that he wants to do. Okay, finally, so I will give you a little bit of break. You all look like maybe you could need a coffee or something, go to the toilet, refresh yourselves. Let's make a 20-minute break, okay? And we meet back here at 10:20 in front of the Academy of Arts, okay? Please try not to be late. I will wait like 2 minutes more.
This is the war memorial for the Jews who were killed during Hitler time. यो चाहिँ हिटलरको टाइममा जुन त्यो जुइसहरूलाई मारेका थिए त्यसको वार मेमोरियल हो।
In the 1940s. And yeah, as you can imagine, like, this bunker was not only built for Hitler. Hitler was actually there with many people. It was quite crowded with Dr. Joseph Goebbels, with his wife, with their 6 children, with his doctor, and the generals also came in and out. And for the meetings,
जुन ठाउँमा मैले स्टप गरेर पोइन्ट गरिरहेको छु यो चाहिँ हिटलरको बङ्कर हो है। this is how it looks like at this time.
So Hitler's house.
यो चाहिँ बर्लिन वाल हो है
Yeah, that's the impression that a lot of people have when they see the wall for the first time. But now it's a smaller
बर्लिन वाल
and they start to wonder what the point you why. Exactly. It comes from the phonetic military alphabet. This was the third checkpoint. So Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, checkpoint Charlie, right? So checkpoint A and B, of course, also existed. There was an up to 900 in West Germany. Because as I told you before, Berlin was the former East Germany. West Berlin was part of West Germany. So we needed a way to connect West Germany with West Berlin. So there was actually a highway that they built. So you needed checkpoint A, where you left East Germany, entered West Germany to get on the highway. Then you